You've come to beg on the door. Forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take anymore.
Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod. We are back after a little bit of an absence.
Is it 2 weeks? If it's 2 weeks since we last did a pod. Yeah. Big gap.
The big gap. A few scheduling issues. We'll blame you, Craig. As per usual.
No, nothing to do with me.
We'll blame you.
On it.
Yeah, we'll blame you.
Definitely not. Blame you. You were abroad or something, weren't you?
Maybe.
Blame Al.
Blame me.
Yeah.
If you are listening, you can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Acast, YouTube on a Wednesday. Make sure you give it a like wherever you're listening. 5-star review on iTunes, please. Be nice to get some 5-star reviews. I don't think we've campaigned for any recently.
No. We had the gift of the signed shirt, didn't we, last year, and that pulled people
Maybe
in.
we should give some stuff away again.
What have you got to give away?
Nothing.
Haribo.
Yeah.
Can of Strongbow. Guinness.
Can of Guinness.
Yeah.
If you want a can of Guinness, leave a 5-star review. Post one next
Yeah.
week. But obviously, we're here to talk about Stoke. Another, would you say, unsuccessful weekend?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking long and hard about whether that was successful or not, but I think unsuccessful sums it up more than successful.
And we've also missed the Leicester game.
Yeah.
We haven't covered that. And obviously, I see that as 2 points dropped.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Jack Butland with an obvious error.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't expect that from him. I've seen nothing like that from him before.
It's bizarre. It's one of the weirdest goalkeeping errors I've seen. It's just completely misjudged it. I think he was shaping his body to anticipate the flick from Vardy or something. Completely misjudged it, and
I think I noticed he's changed gloves now because he had these Nike have released these new
them black ones.
Yeah, in one. And then
Yeah.
I swear I've seen him training this week and he's gone back to normal ones. I don't know if he as a judge putting it down to.
Well, it didn't even touch his hand, did it? It touched his waist. So I don't know if it down to the gloves, but
I think personally I tweeted it at the time. I think he's done his England chances a lot of damage with that mistake.
I don't think he's number one anymore.
No, that's what I thought. That's what my initial feelings were.
Yeah.
Although as we go into it, he might have swung it round a little bit more from the weekend. But obviously, we went into this game, we kept the same side since Leicester, which was, Staffy got his second Premier League start, Indian Zuma at centre-back, Bauer, a midfield of Cameron and Di Allen, and then up front Juve with Shaq and Chupo.
Yep.
What were your thoughts on the lineup going into
I've said it for a few Preview 11 things now that I don't think Cheap should be starting.
Who?
Cheap Emoti. I'm calling him Cheap. Cheaps, I'm calling him. Cheaps is
nickname?
the nickname that
I don't think it's catching on, Craig, but
I'm going to push it. But Cheaps, he keeps starting. I don't think he's justifying that. He just doesn't. I mean, I'll refer to the Albrighton cross for the Leicester goal. Admittedly, Jack made the mistake ultimately, but it sums his work for the team at that moment. He just stopped. Albrighton kind of knocked the ball forward a yard, and he just kind of give up. He doesn't put enough work in for the position we're in. It doesn't track.
You said it in your preferred 11, and while I did disagree with the choice of Berahino up front, which you keep ploughing away with, by the way.
But are we going to get onto that now or in a minute? Or
you can go with now if you want.
Just because people that watch my preferred 11 videos for the game, I've gone with Berahino quite often, and certainly in the last 2 weeks I've gone
People
with
think you're obsessed with him, Craig. So do I.
The reason I go with him is just to stress it. I don't think he's played well, obviously. I don't think he's a world beater. I go with Berahino purely because I always want to comment back on the comments when people comment on that video. But I can't be asked. But I always want to say back, well, tell me what other options we've got that are working. Someone says Juve, not having it. Crouch in his own, doesn't work. Campbell, not ready. So it's not like I'm saying... I don't think he's ever been a natural striker. He's always been kind of a wing type of player. Maybe Hesse. But my answer to them people who have a go at saying Berahino up front is purely, well, what else then?
Yeah.
I get Berahino's not turning up any trees or anything like that. I get that, but give me an alternative. Then what? Juve, no. Crouch, no. Campbell, no.
We're knackered in the...
We are
line,
knackered. Berahino is as poor as the others, but he's the only one that's not been given a consistent go at being poor, if that makes sense.
Sort of.
That's the only explanation
Lambert
I've got.
has come out though and said he's not up to the fitness.
But even that, can he be any worse than Juve is my base point. And I'd argue probably not.
Well, you don't know. You never know where... But we might find out soon enough. We'll get onto it though.
Yeah.
Hesse I would have put on the left. As you put in your...
I went for the left,
I would have started Hesse on the left.
Yeah.
Chupo. I do not care about the penalty situation anymore.
No.
I just focused on staying up.
No.
And for me, Chupo just isn't working at the minute.
He has these
Out on the
brief, I mean brief to the kind of truest sense of the word, little runs, and he looks quite comfortable and composed. But then when he's not got the ball, he goes missing. Unbelievably goes missing. He's not involved, he doesn't track, he doesn't really get stuck in, he doesn't cover. He's just there, doing nothing. And it is so frustrating. I think there's a decent player in there somewhere.
I mean, you can accept that sort of laziness if it was an Arnie or... if they're actually if they're not showing it, but they're supplying something for the.
But even Arnie put more work in than
than
Cheaps, and that says a lot. Because Arnie wasn't exactly missed up and down the wing, was he?
No, exactly. I have to say, Craig, I'm not getting on board with your new nickname for him.
Cheaps.
Yeah, I just can't take it.
It's fine.
It's irking me.
I'm being lazy with the language.
It was a pretty quiet first half. In all honesty,
yeah, I think I'm maybe Stoke tinted glasses here, but I thought we controlled the first half slightly, ever so slightly anyway. I think we looked comfortable. When we broke, we looked a bit more threatening. It was a dull first half.
The biggest talking point of it was Juve, who got injured.
What's he actually done?
So it's a suspected broken collarbone.
Is it?
Which would mean he's out for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Which leaves us with a 37. I think that I'm quoting James Whittaker's tweet here from Twitter. Leaves us with a 37-year-old.
Yeah.
A player who hasn't scored in 2 years.
Yeah.
And a striker with 30 minutes Premier League experience.
Worrying, isn't it?
Very worrying.
And the worrying thing is, even if Juve hadn't sustained this injury, I don't think he would have been any better off. If you know what I mean, I don't think Juve is like he was the answer.
Is that top goal scorer?
With how many?
I'll have to look.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh no, we've lost our wonder striker. With or without Juve, it was a poor depth.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't know how this happened. We rolled the dice on Berahino. It's just not worked, has it?
Yeah, James Alcott's sneaking in behind us. But no, it's all right. just invading the Bear Pit pod. Go check him out on YouTube, James Lawrence Alcott.
Thank you.
So yeah, and Dye had a few efforts as well.
What do you make of him so far?
He's been feisty.
Feisty, but not that productive. He's got a decent
He got an assist in his first game.
Yeah,
It was a good start.
I'm still, the jury is obviously out on him. He's only played 4 or 5 games for him, but I've not seen him create too much or do much with the ball. I've seen a lot of energy, a lot of work, running about, etc.
Definitely got that. He's got the work rate.
But I've not seen too much. I've not seen the best.
I've not seen what I was expecting to see when you watch a YouTube video, even though it's the YouTube videos where it's just the highlights. When I see the games he's played for Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, I think it was. Driving forward, starting attacks, some long range goals. Yeah, I haven't seen none of that yet.
I feel like I'm being really negative so far.
You have been great.
But then look at the league table.
Yeah, you've got every reason to. Crouch came on at half time for Staphylidis.
I thought he looked okay, Crouch, when he come on.
Yeah.
I think he looked, what's his name? I just call him Staffy.
Staphylidis.
I've not bothered to learn, I just keep saying Staffy.
I'm sure it's not said like that, but...
I go with Staffy.
Staffy.
But yeah, when Crouch came on, I thought he looked alright, actually. I thought he was kind of linking up play a little bit better. But the obvious problem with Crouch is if the ball isn't within like a 2-yard vicinity circumference of Crouch, you're not getting possession of that ball because he's not going to chase it down as you run the channels and stuff like that. And that quickly became more and more apparent as the kind of the half dragged on and stuff.
Definitely. And then the change that we would have started with happened. Hesse came on for Chupo.
Yeah.
I can't say he contributed too much. Didn't have much.
You know what? I'll hold my hands up as well, actually. And you'll note this from my next first 11 preview. As much as I was calling for Hesse to start on the left, because I kept quoting that Chupo doesn't work enough, I feel a bit... When I watched that game, I thought, you know what? Hesse works even less in terms of tracking back than Chupo-Moting. So I don't know.
Or does he offer more going forward?
Yeah, I mean, not really against Southampton, he didn't. But my reasons for dropping Chupo-Moting was his lack of urgency and energy up and down the wing. Hesse really does not give a shit amount of tracking, from what I've seen anyway.
And probably the biggest chance fell to Boufal. Jack with a brilliant save.
Yeah.
Boufal probably should have put it away, but didn't apply the finish. And Jack was definitely back to his best after last week.
Yeah, he played well. Played very well.
Got man of the match.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I wouldn't say there's any worldy saves in there. They're all good saves, and you appreciate them being made.
All saves you'd expect him to make.
Yeah, generally. I mean, that's the quality of Jack that we've come to expect. I'm kind of quite flippant with them sort of saves, but yeah.
Any other notable moments in the game you can think back to?
Chupo-Moting's one-on-one miss. Very tight angle, I appreciate, but I've not watched it back, but he seemed to kind of attempt to chip the keeper and he just completely shanked his shot. Went over the bar. The moment that keeps, I think it's like the last minute or even second, when Shaq stole the ball right on their touchline. And I just thought, just squared it across the goal. Hesse should have made a better run. I just keep...
Yeah, there was the chance that sticks in my mind was in the first half when we were breaking away and it was Shaq and Juve. Shaq played the ball, just didn't expect Juve to make the run that he did. I don't know what went on there, and they had a real word with each other.
Yeah, well, my initial thought when I saw it was, I know it's easy to assume that it was Juve that didn't make the right run, and I will say that if I don't think he did, but I just thought the pass was a bit overhit. I've not watched it back. I've seen it once live at the time, and from what I recall, the ball wasn't that great. Or am I wrong there?
No, I think that's right.
So I blame Shaq for that. A lot of people blame Juve because people blame Juve because he's not Shaq, but I don't think that's fair.
Best performers? Jack obviously is up there.
Jack, I thought Indy and Zuma were solid. I thought Staffy, I'm going with that. Staffy,
even though he's come off at half time.
Yeah, I thought he looked solid, but I felt sorry for him. I think it was unfortunate he had to go off. It was an enforced sort of thing. Bauer looked good as well. Joe Allen running himself to the ground.
Bauer's been brilliant.
He has really. I look through the whole team and I do struggle to see too many poor performers really. I think my man of the match is probably Jack, followed closely by Indy. We've missed Indy. We just look so...
Yeah, so much better.
We just lack creativity going forward. We look so solid but not spectacular.
Worst performers, and I want to throw one in there straight away. I was pulling my hair out in the first half, was Jeff Cameron. I think he had a stinker.
Do you think? I thought he was alright without being spectacular.
Kept giving the ball away, kept just losing possession, or he was making really risky decisions that didn't need to be made. And I was literally watching him thinking, I was just getting really frustrated when he just wouldn't do things simple. Yeah. Apart from that, I'd probably say Chupo again.
Chupo wasn't great.
He's like 3 weeks on the bounce now.
Yeah.
I don't think he can keep his spot for next weekend. Yeah, it's not weekend.
Why is Ramadan not getting a shout?
That's another strange one, and I think that a lot of people have sent that in, what we'll get to later with the questions, but I'm not sure why he's not even anywhere near.
I've always really rated him. Even under Hughes, I don't think he was ever given a consistent run in the team. And there's brief moments where I thought we've actually got not the next big thing, but I thought this is a real talent. I remember thinking Middlesbrough home last year, he absolutely tore them up. He was amazing, and he's just not been given a shot since then. And I think he wasn't even in the matchday squad against Southampton.
He's even had some games for the under-23s.
It's ridiculous. I do not understand that. We lack so much creativity going forward, but we've got a more capable winger to at least mix things up with.
I'd rather him than Chupo at the minute.
100%. And he does do that thing which I want from a player. He does track. I think he's defensively clever, and he knows when to play the ball. He knows when to take the chance. I'm baffled by that one. The lack of creativity we've got at the moment, I don't know why we're not throwing him in. Just as a sub last minute, he drives. I think his last real contribution was the Coventry game, and I think he was our best player on that day.
Even though it was a very bad day.
Yeah, it was a bad day, and it's a League Two side, but it was something, if nothing.
Well, yeah, let's not make ourselves feel even worse by bringing Coventry back up. I ask it every week recently, but are we down? 4 to 5 odds on now with the bookies to go down.
Are we?
Yeah.
So I assume West Brom are favourites to cement that place.
Yeah, well, they're basically down, yeah. The remaining fixtures, obviously, it's Man City on the Monday Night Football at 8 o'clock. Stoke City, we then play Everton at home, Arsenal away, Tottenham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Liverpool away, Palace at home, Swansea away.
Right, my official line. I mean, I've been saying it for week after week. If we lose this one, we're down. If we don't win this one, we're down. We've done
that for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, this statement for me next. This is the true one where I think will reflect the season. This will define this. No, not Man City. No, yeah, that's gone. It's Everton at home. I'm going to say it again, and I mean it this time.
All right, okay.
This isn't a flippant one. I truly think if we don't beat Everton at home, assuming we lose to Man City, which I assume will happen, if we don't beat Everton at home, that's it for me. I think I'm going to jump on that bandwagon.
We would need some sort of mini miracle.
If we somehow get a draw against Man City, we can just scrape a point against Everton and bin it still. But we're going to lose to Man City. Without being overly pessimistic, let's just look at the facts.
That's not being pessimistic.
It's not. It's being realistic.
I mean, we couldn't.
I'm just always reluctant to say when we lose.
You never know. We could do a Stoke of all the crowd are behind us.
Maybe.
And Man City haven't got a great record at our place. I know this is a completely different Man City. I'm trying to throw some positivity in it.
Yeah. But I'm going to be very realistic here, and I'm not saying it because I'm being pessimistic, but let's just assume when we lose to Man City, I hate saying it like that, but being realistic, we have to beat Everton. And if we don't beat Everton, I think I'm going to start to really resign myself. Where else the points coming from then?
I'm really disappointed it's not Everton this weekend because they are in some awful form.
I know they are.
Awful form. Hopefully it keeps up for the time that we do play them. Obviously they've just been turned around by Burnley at the weekend.
Yeah.
I think they're actually second bottom in the league for form table after West Brom.
I think they are. And I think they've got the worst away record in certainly the Premier League, maybe the Football League.
Yeah,
their away record is horrendous.
So we could have done with that one now, but hopefully it's the same sort of situation when we do play them. Obviously Arsenal away is a difficult one. We've never even got a point there.
But weirdly, it's the first time in years I thought you never know because they're in shocking form, aren't they?
Yeah.
You never know.
Never know.
Out of all them 4 difficult ones, the Arsenal away is
some of my hopes are resting on that Palace and Swansea, our last 2 games, hopefully.
Yeah.
Either, Palace at home, they're already down.
Yeah.
Or Swansea are already safe, so the players are on the beach and it doesn't mean as much to them. I'm resting on that at the minute. And we can go on to that now because Palace last night, I'm sure many Stoke fans have never celebrated a Man United goal like that.
I felt dirty, Al.
Yeah, I did.
Celebrating a Man United goal, or 3 goals in this case. But that, I said to you before the podcast, I've seen several people quote, that's the best Stoke result in months. It kind of was, because when they were winning 2-0,
They pulled away. They were up to 13th, I think.
Yeah, I was just like, we're down. That's it, done. I no kind of like me being overly pessimistic, I thought that is it, done. Because that would just give them such a boost. And it was the first time I'd seen the league table and thought, we're actually drifting now. That was the first time we were drifting. For that to come round was the best 45 minutes of football that I've experienced as a Stoke fan since Huddersfield. And that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I hope that knocks the stuffing out of Palace, because it would me if I was a Palace fan. God, what a relief.
I was going to say, hopefully,
what a relief.
Like the Palace players must be fucking devastated.
Yeah, the Palace fans, the whole atmosphere
Palace
at the club.
fans, yeah.
And they've got Chelsea next as well. And then someone else difficult after that, I think.
Yeah, they've got by no means easy games coming up. And hopefully, that's them down. Hopefully. So that's one of a spot taken with West Brom.
Yeah, so that leaves us, Newcastle, Southampton, West Ham.
You could probably throw West Ham into the mix.
Just.
Keep up
I feel like I've just got enough, but yeah.
Well, hopefully. So they got us into the shit and got us out of it. Thanks United.
Yeah,
thanks to Nemanja Matic.
Reluctantly say that, but yeah, cheers.
In some other news this week, Dave Kitson has come out and said that he never wanted to sign for Stoke, and the only reason he actually went through with it was because of the money.
Yeah.
And he had so much money invested in property, he couldn't afford not to, take the wage after his wages had been cut in half by Reading for relegation.
Poor guy.
Poor fella.
I mean, I could have told you that. His heart was never in it, Stoke.
He was going to get any sympathy or anyone's going to...
For a while, he was comfortably, in my lifetime, the worst signing I've seen with Stoke. In terms of, at the time, the cost, 5.5 million for Stoke was like mega bucks at the time. He is comfortably being surpassed by Wimmer. he's
and Berahino.
And Berahino. In Bula, maybe. Although Bula did play well here and there. Palacios, he was shit as well. But at the time, he was the worst Stoke signing I've kind of witnessed, experienced. He's a secret footballer, isn't he?
He scored a goal.
Yeah, he scored 3.
Berahino hasn't.
Yeah, I know. But Kitson was...
he's a secret footballer. We also told the story about him a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that Rory Delap told us about why he was so weird.
Yeah.
So go and find that. Was it the last podcast or the one before?
I think it was the last one, yeah.
Go and have a listen to that. I won't repeat it again.
Yeah.
Also, it's been proposed by the Premier League that from the 2019 to 20 season, there's going to be a 2-week break at the start of February, a winter break. So it leaves the Christmas football unaffected.
That's
but
fine.
We get a little bit of a break. Will it be fine if we just probably end up and go to do some sort of Asia tour? Or?
Well, if they do that, I think most football fans acknowledge that's insane. If they go pissing them out in the Middle East or to wherever to play some exhibition match.
It'll definitely happen with some of the... I don't know if it'll happen with us, but it definitely happen with some of the bigger clubs.
And that instantly undermines it, and it's a load of bollocks. I hate it.
Okay. Well, we've covered that off pretty
But we'll see.
easily and simply. So we will get on to the people's questions. The people. There's been a fair few this week.
Yeah.
I will find them eventually.
Because Elle's scrolling, for those that just listen, Elle's scrolling through now, do you just pick the ones you think look interesting, or do you go just from top to bottom?
Interesting.
Interesting ones.
Starting with Jake, who says, "Where the fuck have you been?" I said, blame Craig.
Blame him. We established we need to blame that. For that.
Paul Lambert's Red and White Army, Jugbank Stoke. He says, "Who plays up top on Monday?" And he says, with Chupo with Ramadan on the wing for me, so he wants to try Chupo back up top.
I feel like we've slagged him off too much to have him starting now a bit. As daft as it sounds, I think the only thing we've got that could remotely challenge Man City is Crouch and how different he is. But then instantly I'm thinking, imagine if we're completely under the cosh at 0-0 and trying to relieve the pressure by launching it and it bounces just away from Crouch. That ball is coming straight back. If we play Crouch, it gives us a better chance of nicking a goal, but at the same time it really gives us no chance of keeping the pressure on, countering or anything like that. Yeah. So it's 6 of 1. I don't know. It depends what the first.
I think it probably will be Crouch. I think that's what it probably should be.
I think it probably will be, but I've said this a million times.
He's got
before.
a decent record against City at our place.
Yeah, he has the wonder goal. I just always said Crouch has to be played in the 2, and I can see that becoming stupidly frustrating. But if we play Crouch, I don't know, it's going to be frustrating. You can see it already, can't you? We launch the ball down the channels because we're under that much pressure. Crouch, bless him, will amble toward it because he's not quick, is he? And they'll launch it. Well, not launch it, they'll play it forward again.
Out from the back. Repeat
for 90 minutes. However, if we do get a random free kick or corner, that is our best opportunity to score.
Set pieces.
It's a difficult one, but I probably would roll with Crouch. Yeah, and who else we got?
Yeah, exactly. Steve-O, with a great handle, at Buldabast Award, says, "We are not making enough chances to keep us up."
Too right.
Agreed.
Completely agree with that.
CJH6 says, "If we got Flores or O'Neill, would we be in a better place?" It's difficult. We're not mind readers. I honestly couldn't say.
I don't know.
I think Martin O'Neill might have us in a little bit of a better place, maybe. Just on the basis that I think he might have seen some of those results out in a different manner. Maybe the Leicester game.
Potentially. I mean, without being dismissive of the question, I don't think it matters now.
No.
It's not worth worrying about.
That is quite dismissive.
It is dismissive, sorry. Thanks for commenting. I don't really know that, but it doesn't matter now, does it? Maybe. I don't know. Sorry.
Alec at Centristal says, "Is supporting Stoke City a largely ignored reason for my anxiety?" Probably.
Yeah, more likely.
Probably.
Speaking of anxiety, the Leicester game, was that the most torturous game you've watched in a long, long time?
Oh, it was horrific.
Them last 15 minutes when they were hitting the post
and when they had chances.
Jack was making worldly saves, was just... I've never been so thankful to get a point and then immediately be annoyed that we didn't get 3. It was bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Bailey Pepper says, "Is this it? Is it the end of our Premier League era?"
Not quite.
I tweeted out on Saturday that I honestly think that's us down now.
Do you think?
Unfortunately.
I think give us till Saturday the 17th at 5 o'clock. Then I feel I can answer.
Obviously,
it
can turn so easy in this league, but I think our run of games is just too tough, and I think we're hoping for a result that we're not capable of at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't see where the goal's coming from. I mean, Chief's now out.
Not the end of the world, is it?
Well,
I don't want him to be injured, don't get me wrong, but I think that it's not like he was doing it before. Am I being harsh there? I don't want him to be injured, I'm not getting at that, but it's not like he was scoring left, right, centre and that he was pinning our hopes on him.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being a bit harsh.
No, I can see it.
I love Jiffy, but he wasn't the answer, I don't think, to our survival.
I mean, he was played at right wing back for the majority of the season.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Cameron J. Hancock says, "If we go down, how much do we sell Shaq for?"
I think he's really put himself in the shot window nicely for us. He's scoring the odd worldie. My voice went then. I'd be disappointed if we got less than... I was going to say 25, but could a Championship team really command a big fee?
Yeah, definitely.
We'd be desperate to sell them. Premiership teams will know that we can't really hold on to this guy with ease. I think it completely changes up. Put it this way, if we stay in the Prem, I think he'll go. If we get relegated, I think he'll go. If we did stay in the Prem, I think we could get 30 plus for him. If we get relegated, I'd be surprised if we hit 25.
I think someone will come in for him. I think we could fetch around the 25 a million more.
Regardless
Even
of
if
which
we're down,
division
yeah.
we're in.
No matter if we're up or down.
I think we've done very well to get 25 in the Championship, but we'll see.
James Archer, controversially, says, am I the only one that's happy Juve's out? Controversial.
I'm not happy Juve's out, but I don't think it's...
I don't think so. I'd never be happy if the player's injured.
No.
I actually think Juve would offer us something. Even though he might not be scoring at the minute.
Yeah, he's the only bit of pace we've kind of got up front. I'm not happy he's out at all because the Stoke player's injured. Quite a long-term layoff as well, but it's not like we're relying on him for anything. So
Ben Jones says, do you think Afellay should get a place in the starting 11?
Where the hell's he
Try
gone?
something new. I've got no idea. A lot of people have asked where Afellay is, along with Ramadan. A lot of people have asked about the Ramadan situation, which I think we've already said. We'd like to see him in, if not near, the starting 11.
Afellay is a class player, and I can only assume the fact he's not playing is because he's injured. It must be that, because he's too good. If a fully fit
It'd be
Afellay
nice for
sat
the
at
club
the
to
side...
tell us.
Yeah.
We get no information
Stephen
about
Ireland as well,
injuries.
where's he gone?
I know they've tried to say it's not that, but they had a bit of a tiff at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I think that's just continued.
He must have been gutted when Lambert come in.
Yeah, must have been fuming. Owen Bloor says, if we get relegated, he's still going to do the podcasts. Yeah. Stoke City doesn't fold as a club.
No, it doesn't.
Someone's got to cover them.
I mean, if anything, we might get a bit of identity back. Not the podcast, but the club,
Yeah.
you know. We might gain a few things from going down.
Yeah, a lot of people might agree with that. Matt Bennett added to that and said Elliot has got to make it back from Russia alive first, which is true. It might be a one-man podcast if that happens. Andy Slee says, do you think we'll ever see Berahino and Kevin Zimmer in a Stoke shirt again?
Yeah, for the under-23s.
Yep, that's definitely going to see them in a Stoke shirt, because they did it last weekend. Both had a run out for the 20.
Apparently they had poor games sort of as well.
Good God, who's shocked? Matt Bennett asks a weird question. Craig, why does sadness taste of the colour yellow?
Why are you asking me?
I've got no idea.
I can't answer that. I don't know what it means in any context.
I don't know if it's...
Why does sadness taste of the colour yellow?
I don't know if that's a joke we're not getting, but I've not clicked if it is.
Firstly, if you're listening, what's his name?
Matt Bennett.
Why me? Why are you asking me that? And just
reveal it under your t-shirt. Why always me?
And yeah. And can you give us a bit more detail on that? Is that a joke we're missing, or is that some philosophical
No idea.
thought on the colour yellow?
Not clear.
Don't know.
Jackie Sedula says, away from football, dogs or cats? And if you had a pet, would you name it football related?
I've got a cat. I bought a cat in July called Lila.
Right.
So cats for me, definitely.
Dogs for me.
It was dogs, but I've been taking
Been
cats
changed.
since I got a cat. Yeah.
James Griffith says, what did you think of the subs made on Saturday?
That's a good point actually. Lambert's subs have been
Strange.
a bit of stick, haven't they? Not just Southampton, I think in general. Bizarre, wasn't it? So Juve got injured. Peter's come on. Staffy went
left backs.
further forward,
Yeah.
and Sheeps went in the middle. That clearly wasn't working. So then he takes off Staffy. I think he took off Staffy purely because he didn't want to sub Peters, even though he knew that Staffy was the better player to stick on. Why didn't he just bring on Crouch? Or even Hesse for Juve? Easy. Bizarre. You know what? If you're going to criticise Lambert for anything, I say subs have been a little bit questionable. They don't seem to make sense. I felt like they took the momentum away from the Leicester game. We went very static when them subs occurred. Not great.
Yeah, they've not
Simple answer.
They've not been brilliant.
A bit confusing.
I think it's a lot of square pegs and round holes.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday was bizarre. The Peter Staffy Juve sub triangle
Combo.
thing, weird.
It's a strange one. Alex Bennett says, who from the current championship is coming up this season? Wolves. Certainly. Derby have fucked it up as per usual. And Gary Rowett.
I thought that as well, actually.
Let's have a look at the table.
Cardiff are doing it, aren't they, at the moment? Villa had a real good run, but they've gone off the ball tiny bit the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with Wolves.
I think it'll be those three.
You know what? I reckon it's going to be Wolves, Cardiff, and I can see Borough doing it.
Really?
I think purely.
They've
just snuck into the playoffs, haven't they, Borough?
They did, but they would not back out at the weekend because they played on Friday night.
Okay, I think
Pulis could.
I think he's going to do it, which will be ironic. He'll love that, won't he?
He would.
Yeah, I can see Borough doing the playoffs.
Okay,
I think
so
they have a real resurgence
Cardiff
now.
And maybe Borough.
Yeah.
I'll plump for Villa though in the playoffs, even though it's not certain that Cardiff are going to finish second.
No. That hurts, you know. The thought of Wolves being a division above us really pains
Villa.
me. Yeah, I do not like Wolves at all. That's annoying.
Yeah, we'll always have that goal from Fuller against them. It's all right. It's all right, Craig. What's the Richard Key says? What's the one song that will get you dancing or jumping up and down like a tit in a nightclub?
Good question, that. I love my music.
Jay-Z and Kanye, Paris.
Mine will be... This, I could really drag out the podcast here because I want to give this some thought, but I'll be as quick as I can. I reckon... It could be amongst dozens, but I'm going to just go with Live Forever by Oasis.
Dancing? Jumping?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I don't care if it's a kind of a...
It's just one way to stand there. And put
Just
your
one,
arms up
I
and
just
sing
would
it.
love that. Or maybe She Bangs the Drums by Stone Roses. Smith's songs would
The
do
question
well.
was one.
Joy
Craig.
Division. I'm going to go with Live Forever now. It could change, but let's go with Live Forever by Oasis for now.
And lastly, this will be the last question. Ben Harben says, do we keep Paul Lambert next season if we go down or stay up?
Yes.
Wait, for both?
Yes.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think
It's a 2.5 year deal.
Lambert will be our manager regardless next season, definitely. And I think that's fair enough. I think he would have got to... If we go down, he'll know the players, the place. I feel quite confident he can get the best out of us next year, so I'm happy with Lambert going forward, yeah. And I think Coates will think the same. And the board.
I think I agree with that. If we go down, if we stay up, I reckon there could be a sneaky little clause to get rid of him because he's got a bonus as well. That
Yeah.
if he keeps us up, I think it could be incentivised on that, and I reckon there could be a clause to get.
I'd be
him out.
shocked. I'd be upset for him if that's the case because I think if he does keep us up, he's done an
You don't think we
amazing
could
job.
Command a better manager though.
Um,
Seeing as though we aren't exactly a newly promoted side, we've got a good infrastructure, good academy, we've got money to spend, we've got a side that shouldn't be in the bottom three.
Arguably, maybe I'm being too soft, but I think if he's managed to keep us up, he deserves a shot properly at the job. So I think he should be regardless. I didn't know that was kind of a philosophy of thought that he might go if he stay up. I just assumed it was a given he'd stay, to be honest, but I don't know.
We've got one last question. I did say the last one was the last one, but I forgot I'd wrote one down because they didn't post it in the normal comment section or reply on Twitter. They actually sent it via the inbox. And I hope I don't murder this name. Axel Bashwig, double barrel surname. How did you get young Sam into the Bear Pit TV, and where does his remarkable passion and insight come from? His interviewing skills are excellent, and he asks better questions than most adults in the same position. Being a Stoke supporter seems like a tough life for a young lad in these times. Sam rose to prominence in a little video that Sky Sports, I think, clipped up, where Mark Hughes was just signing some things for some mascots, and Sam said,
It's great,
glad
isn't
we
it?
didn't sack you,
It's
Sparky.
phenomenal.
And then he was taking the mick out of some of the players when they rocked up.
It's the questions only a kid could ask because they've not got a filter, have they?
No, and he said one of them looks exactly like they did in FIFA, a couple of other things, and then from that,
Soccer M got hold of it, didn't they?
Soccer AM, the clip went viral. We put it out on our page, and then his dad got in touch with me, and he just loves Stoke and he loves doing it. And
I
he's
think
good at it.
he lives in Sheffield, doesn't he? I think.
No, he lives near Burton, near St George's
Oh, I
Park.
thought he lived in Sheffield. Am I
No.
wrong? Okay.
Because that's why he goes the majority of the under 23 games. Because
Right,
it's at St George's Park, so he lives near there. Hopefully, see a lot more of Sam. Obviously, he does a fair little bit of stuff for us now. He's best mates with Kevin Campbell,
Yeah.
Tyrese Campbell's dad. Done about 3 interviews with him now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, see a lot more of Sam. I know that he's a talented kid, and I think there's some plans to capitalise on that because he should,
Yeah.
deserved. And I've got, honestly, I don't know Sam that well enough to tell you where his passion and insight has come from. Maybe his dad, maybe it's just being a mad little kid who watches a lot of football.
It's often your family, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's off because we've both met their dad, haven't we? And yeah, he's obviously mad keen for Stoke as well, and he's made sure that Sam follows suit. And
Yeah.
he loves it. It's great.
Sent him a little signed Mama Juve jumper at Christmas, and he went mental. Absolutely mental. So that is all the questions. Favourite of the week?
I like the music one.
Yes, that was.
I mean, it's completely unstoke related, which was a welcome relief.
They usually win.
Yeah, but I like that question.
That was from Richard Key.
Cheers, Richard
Wins
Key.
question of the week. Man City Monday night. How fucked are we?
I mean,
Oh, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a fun night.
I'm always so reluctant not to be too negative about Stoke because I love Stoke, and we go down, I'll be there, and all the rest of it. And what I'm about to say to you is horrendously pessimistic, but we've got to be realistic. I feel bad for asking this question, but would you take a 2-0 loss? Purely in the sense that like goal difference is going to be massive for.
Well,
I mean that is an awful question. If I get slated, fine, I get that, but I'm just trying to be realistic.
No, I completely understand it. I think
Goal difference is going to be huge.
A valid point.
I feel like we're clawing that back to a kind of
respectable.
Yeah, that we can compete with teams. I don't know. That is awful. Obviously, you wouldn't. You want to go for a point or who knows a win, but chances are we're going to lose.
Well, yeah, there'll be massive odds.
Odds would suggest we're going to lose 2-3-4, maybe. Look at them, they're insane. What a team. Probably the best Premiership team ever, maybe.
Do you part the buzz from the off?
I don't know how you play this one. I can't even know how to contemplate it because it's just...
How would you stop them?
What? I don't know. I mean, I'm driving up from London, I'm thinking, I'm an idiot because it's going to take me 3 hours to drive up there.
I'd come with you, I'm in Cheltenham.
Are you?
Yeah.
Pick you up, Al.
Midway. If you want to pick me up and drop me back off, I'll be
there. I mean, I don't know. What do we do? The plan has got to be...
Do we do a Wigan?
Well,
just fend for your lives, hope for a counter.
Yeah, as opposed to what? See if we can bombard that. I mean, the only little remote kind of tactic you approach with Man City is their defence is rarely tested because they're rarely under pressure. Do we just roll the dice and go for it at some point? Lambert says, right, the minutes between, 30 and 45, we're going to go for it. Just to see if there's something there, that there's a weakness, there's something not right, and then go from there.
I think what I would do is I'd put Crouch up top on his own.
Yeah.
Not for any counters.
Use his pace.
Not for anything like that.
Yeah.
Just to take advantage of any chance of a set piece we might get.
I agree. And get him back in the box when we're up against it, yeah.
And I'd probably drop another man into midfield because that's where they are very strong.
In that
Kevin
case...
De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva's absolutely smashing.
You know what? In
David
that
Silva
case, Ramadan Sobhi has to start. Because can you imagine Hesse or Cheaps tracking Mac?
No.
Not in a million years. It has to. That's my first.
So Ramadan on the left.
Yeah.
Drop an extra man in midfield.
Yeah.
Shaq on the right.
I think we play...
Ramadan and Shaq can be our outlets.
Yeah.
Another man in midfield to just negate that area. TV's gone. Remote side screensaver. And for me, I think that's probably what I'd do. If you can't go up against them at their own game, you get absolutely blitzed. I think you do try and sort of emulate what Wigan did. They got as many men as they could behind the ball, defending for their lives, and just took advantage of so that it was that one chance that Will Grave got.
If we could win this, it would be...
I'm trying to find some positivity.
I think what I'd play is, I agree with the Ramadan thing. You play almost like you do play the 4-3-3, but it's also can shift quickly to 4-4-2 with Shaq being up alongside Crouch. So when we're up against it, Ramadan drops and you have, Ndai, Allen and maybe Cameron on the right. By no means is Cameron a winger. He's the second right back, if that makes sense. And Shaq drops into the hole because Shaq doesn't work the flanks back because he doesn't need to, because he's our most creative player. He's got to have that sort of outlet. When we attack, we change it to 4-3-3. When we defend, it goes to 4-4-2 with Shaq dropping very deep and just trying to get in the way of their players a little bit.
Hopefully.
That's my first.
We're not picking the side. We're not managing the team. Hopefully Paul Lambert can...
I think he'll do that.
Hopefully
I really do.
Something similar.
This would be...
Get some sort of result.
This would be huge, wouldn't it?
I mean, for example, you saw Chelsea do it at the weekend. They were 1-0 down and they were quite happy to just lose 1-0. They were walking around the pitch, no pressure. Man City were just passing it between themselves without anyone even coming to challenge them.
I know.
And it seemed like Chelsea were happy to take that. We're happy to take a 1-0 loss.
You can't win these sort of games because... And what you sit back and just the amount of pressure you invite on yourself, it's going to be relentless. They're bound to score, but you can't attack because they're bound to score.
Yeah, just leave too many gaps if we go.
If there's any tactical geniuses listening,
Tom Thrower.
Let us know where we've gone wrong with our insight into that.
Yeah,
and tell us how
do
we get to point against
Man
City.
We've probably just spoken a load of bollocks, but
yeah,
you know,
I do think
we're not master tacticians.
I do think the 4-3-3 attacking 4-2-2 defending thing is generally what we're gonna have to do.
We will see.
But then I could go on and on. But then I'm thinking surely Crouch's lack of pace is mental in a game like this. Don't know. We'll be here all night, Al. I don't know if it'll make a difference either.
Yeah.
I don't think Paul Lambert listens.
Hopefully it's not many. Not too many on Monday night.
No.
That has been the Bear Pit Pod. do go make sure you leave us a review on iTunes for a can of Guinness. We're going to send it in the post. If you are listening on SoundCloud, YouTube, Acast, wherever it may be, go drop us a like, go give us a retweet, wherever. Any of it. We'll take it all. We'll take it. We'll take the lot.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week. We won't see you next week. I'm at Cheltenham.
See, it's you.
It's
you.
me.
I'm good to go next Tuesday.
Do you know what? I'll find a Stoke fan in Cheltenham because I'm with all my mates. So
Okay.
I'll do it with Jake or someone in a pub. Absolutely smashed after
That's
losing a couple of £100 at Cheltenham. So yeah, we will be back next week in some sort of entity, hopefully. That's been the Bear Pit Pod. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later.